Hey, third grade. Today we are going to be moving on to, we're going to be going back to graphing, okay? So we talked about graphing last year or last semester, which was last year. But we're going to be moving back to going over dot plots, frequency tables, pictographs, and bar graphs, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, and we're going to go over dot plots and pictographs here. And then on this slide, we're going to go over frequency tables and a bar graph. And then you guys have some interactive slides to complete that has to do with a dot plot, pictograph, frequency table, and bar graph, okay? Okay, a dot plot. A dot plot is a way to display data. You place a dot above a number on a number line to represent one data point. A dot can also be shown as a line plot, okay? Pets owned by third grade students. So in this number line, you have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This down here, these numbers represent the number of pets students own. Okay, so this is 0 pets, 1 pet, 2 pets, 3 pets, 4 pets, and 5 pets. These dots represent how many students own that number of pets, okay? So 0 pets, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 students own 0 pets. 1 pet, 3 students own 1 pet. 2 pets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 students own 2 pets. 3 pets, 3 students own 3 pets. 4 pets, there are not any students who own 4 pets. And then 5 pets, only 1 student owns 5 pets. Also, this up here is called your key. So 1 dot equals 1 student. That's not always the case. Sometimes 1 dot equals multiple students. So it's really, really important that we are paying attention to this, the key, okay? A dot plot can give us a lot of information. We can count the total number of dots and find out that 16 students were part of this survey. If I counted every single dot, 1, 2, 3, 4, because remember, the dots represent the students. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 students participated in this survey. We can also tell that 2 pets is the most popular number owned by students and that no student owns 4 pets. So of these 16 students and the number of pets that were surveyed, 2 pets was the most frequent number, was the most common number. Okay, and then like we stated earlier, no students own 4 pets. This graph also tells us that more students own a pet or pets than not owning a pet. So how many students don't own a pet at all? Good. 4 students don't own a pet at all, but 12 students do own a pet, okay? So more students own a pet than the number of students that don't own a pet at all. When you make a dot plot, remember the following. Give it a title. This title is Pets Owned by Third Graders. Include a key so you know what the dot or X represents. In this case, the dot represents 1 student. Sometimes you will see it in an X. Be sure to label the number line so you know what you are measuring. Down here, this measures the number of pets that students own, okay? And again, the dots represent the number of students. Sometimes dot plots get really tricky because we mix up what the number line represents and what the dots are representing or what the X is representing. So it's really, really important that when you're dealing with a dot plot or dealing with any graph, that in that case, you are paying attention to what the labels are telling you. Okay? A pictograph. A pictograph is a way you can communicate information. It is a graph that uses pictures to represent a set of data. Okay, so, and again, a pictograph also has a key. So 1 donut equals 10 donuts. The Green Star Bakery donut sales. On Thursday, they did not sell 2 donuts, they sold 20 donuts. On Friday, they sold 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 donuts. Saturday, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. What would half of a donut represent? Good. Half of a donut represents 5. So on Saturday, they sold 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 55 donuts. Sunday, 10, 20, 30, 40. The graph shows us that Green Star Bakery sold the most donuts on Saturday and the least amount of donuts on Thursday. And you can see that by the number of donuts that are being represented. Again, this is only 1 donut represents 10 donuts, but there are more donuts drawn or being presented in pictures on Saturday than there are on Friday. The key tells us that each donut in picture represents 10 donuts being sold. That means that half a donut picture represents 5 donuts being sold. Okay? When you make your pictograph, remember the following. Give it a title. Okay? Same thing as a dot plot. You got to give it a title. Include a key so you know what each picture represents. Sometimes your picture represents 1 donut. Okay? So you would just put a donut equals 1 donut. Or sometimes it represents 2 or 5 or 3. It's really easy. A lot of times you're going to see these keys in even numbers because it's really easy to make half of that. So I represent 1, or I recommend using your key to represent 1 donut, 2 donuts, 4 donuts, 6 donuts, 8 donuts, 10 donuts, because it's really easy to cut that number in half because it is an even number. It's a little trickier to cut odd numbers in half. Make sure your pictures are consistent in size and shape. That is really important. You notice that every donut is the same size. They're all lined up. So the first 10 donuts, they're all in a line. They're all in a line. As you move down your bar graph, they're all in a line. They're all consistent in size and shape, except the one that is only half of a donut. All right, frequency table. A frequency table is one way you can collect and show data. Okay, so a lot of times you will collect data on your frequency table, and then you will move that data into a bar graph, a pictograph, or a dot plot. Okay, so you'll see that sometimes in some of your questions that you're having to answer, it will say which graph matches the frequency table below. So you have to find the graph, a bar graph, pictograph, or a dot plot that matches the data shown in the frequency table. My classmates' favorite colors. So the colors you have are pink, blue, green, and orange. Tally marks. And then you have the frequency. The frequency is just the number of times that option was chosen or that option was voted for. In this case, the number of students that like the color pink. 4 students like the color pink, 7 students like the color blue, 5 students like the color green, and 2 students like the color orange. Keep in mind the following when you are making a frequency table. Give the frequency table a title so you know what data you are sharing. My classmates' favorite colors. That's really, really important that all of your tables and all of your graphs have a title, because we want to know what that table is representing. Label the columns so you know what the information in each column means. So these are the color choices, these are the tally marks, this is the frequency, those are your labels. As you're collecting data, use the tally marks to keep track of your data points. So if you were walking around the classroom and you were collecting data over these colors, you'd walk around, what's your favorite color? You put a check or you put a tally. The next one, what's your favorite color? You put a tally, depending on what that student voted for. When you finish collecting all of the data, you can total up the tally marks and find the frequency. So that's what they did. It's a lot easier to just count up tally marks at the end than it is to sit there and have to write 1 and then 2 students and then 3 students. So that's why you do tally marks, and then at the end you just count them all up. use the data you collect to make an informed decision. So an informed decision would be like a majority of the students like blue in this class. Orange was the least favorite color in that classroom. Those are some things that you can infer or that you can decide based off of that factual data. Okay? A bar graph. A bar graph is a way to display data. You can use vertical or horizontal bars to show a data set. Bar graphs can be easily read and a quick way to review data. All right? Again, here's a title, third graders' favorite sports. You have 4 different categories: baseball, soccer, football, hockey. The number of students. Notice this graph does not go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It goes 0, 5, 10, 15. So it's really important that you are paying attention to the scale on the side of your graph. This bar graph shows us what sports are most popular among 3rd grade. This graph shows us that soccer is the most popular and hockey is the least popular. You can see that in this graph, okay? And you can see that, soccer is the most popular, hockey is the least popular. Now you notice that soccer is not right on 10 or right on 15, it's in the middle. So that's probably going to be like 13, 12 or 13, okay? You can look at the numbers on the side to find out the exact number of students who like each sport. That is your scale. When you're making a bar graph, remember the following. Give it a title. There you go. There's your title. 3rd graders' favorite sports. Label each axis so you know what you are measuring. So down here is the sports. Those are your categories. This is an axis. And the number of students. What does 0, 5, 10, 15? What do those represent? What are baseball, soccer, football, hockey? Those represent the sports. And the numbers on the side represent the number of students who like that sport. Make sure the bars are clearly labeled so you know what they represent. Again, also, it's really important that you keep your bars like a good distance when they're spaced out. You notice that these are not all bunched up. There's some space in between so you can clearly read each bar, okay? On this table, you guys are going to be graphing these math scores, okay? So 90, you would take a dot and place it over 90. Remember, you want to try to keep your dots lined up. Just like this one, the dots are nice and lined up. They're not going crooked. They're not going slanted. They're nice in a row. And they go in a row up, like they're nice and straight going up, but they're also nice and straight going side to side, okay? This one, you're going to be tallying up your frequency table, okay? So how many were cups sold, lemonade cups sold on Monday? You're just going to be typing the answer in here. A bar graph, you're going to tally up the number, these. So you're going to tally up dogs, you're going to tally up cats, tally up birds, tally up reptiles, and put it down here. And then you're going to take this and move it, and you can drag those colors according to where it needs to be. Okay, remember, this does not go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This goes 0, 12, 24. What's going to be halfway between 0 and 12? I'll give you a little hint. It's 6. Okay, 6 is there. So if this is 6, you're going to count 6 more to 12. You're going to count 6 more to this number. Count 6 more to this number. So just make sure that you're doing that correctly. And then you're going to be doing a pictograph. Down here, it's important to know the key. A key equals 6 cookies. So if you don't have an even 6 cookies being sold, here's your half cookie. What is this half cookie going to represent? Good. That half cookie is going to represent 3. Awesome job. All right. Remember, if you guys need help, it's really important that you're hopping on office hours and you're sending your teachers a message if you're not understanding. All right. Have a great day.